You're on the John Fredericks Media Network and the John Fredericks Radio apps. Happy Thanksgiving coming up in a few days to everyone out there. I am here today. I'm here tomorrow. Don't forget, 9 o'clock coming up, the new Ukrainian ambassador to the United States, Olga Stefashia, will be with us from 9 to 10. Wide-ranging interview talking about this peace deal that is on the table for the Ukrainians. So don't want to miss that. And that's going to be from 9 to 10, but 9:05 she'll be on. So don't want to miss that. Also, follow me on social media, all social media, at JF Radio Show, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. We're on it. Rumble, X, at JF Radio Show. And we just launched a new Substack. So you want to follow us there as well. Substack.com, JF Radio Show. So everything is pretty easy to do. Good to have you with us. I'm your Mandami. Yeah, I'm your MAGA Mandami right here. This is a Mandami. I mean, Trump played him like a fiddle. Everybody's criticized. I know it's tough to watch, but it was like the little kid going up there on a Friday night asking his dad for the car keys so he could take his girlfriend out on a date. I mean, it was so ridiculous. Trump, brilliant optics. I mean, it just looked like, the child and the father. It looked really ridiculous for Mandami. But look, he got what he wanted out of it. But the main thing why I thought this was successful is basically Trump set him up to fail. Now the guy fails. Trump's like, hey, I did everything I could to help him, right? Had him in the Oval Office, kept the federal funding going. Now they're bankrupt. Bummer. It says bummer summer. It's basically it. This thing's going to blow up in their face. All the doom and gloom about the generic ballots and, Maris has got the Republicans down by 20 points and they're going to win 150 seats. It's going to be the biggest bloodbath in history. We're all going to die. Just take a breath. Take a breath. We have a year. It is 1 year. You know what can happen in a year? We're going to get this economy going. It's going to be fine, right? We're going to win a lot of these seats in the courts and the redistricting. Just take a breath. Get rid of the panicins. We're going to be fine. We're going to have a national message. Okay, we're going to be fine. And we're going to start by winning this special election in Tennessee 6th with Matt Van Epps. He's going to win that. Trump won it by 20. Democrats are spending money there. Say, oh, well, it's a big victory if they only win by 10. No, it isn't. It's called we get the seat. 10, 20, 50. Like, it's a W, dude. Right? It's a W. If you're an Eagles fan, you lost that game. Well, we only got beat by 3. It's a W. It's an L. It doesn't matter what you got beat by. You also blew a 3-touchdown lead, schmucks. Right? Of course, I bet the Eagles -3. Actually put the Browns game on because the game was over. 21-0, and they had the ball. Whatever. Another loser. Doesn't matter how. It's just an L. Okay, joining me now, my good friend, Charles Duke Tanner. Had him on the other day. Duke's got an interesting history. He's a former undefeated professional boxer and community champion who received a double life sentence for a first-time nonviolent drug offense after President Trump's first community sentence in 2020. Duke dedicated himself to community work under a restrictive 10-year federal supervision term, which was only fully terminated by a full presidential pardon in May of 25. Now completely free, he's a national advocate for the Safer Supervision Act, which I'm a proponent of, using his own experience to show why common sense reform is needed to fix the broken federal supervision system. And he's with us now again, Duke Tanner, Charles Duke Tanner. Charles, good to have you with us, Duke.
How you doing, champ?
Good. I'm a proponent of the Safe Supervision Act. Give us your thoughts on this, how this has affected your life.
Oh, always whatever I do, I'm gonna give my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ all the praise first, because without Him, I wouldn't be here. But yeah, the supervision, it was hard for me, especially trying to be successful and be an entrepreneur and try to give back because had me still feeling like I was locked up on a lot of situations based on travel and visiting family and things of that nature.
So when you got you got your sentence commuted by the president, but
Yes.
you were still under federal supervision. How did that affect you getting a job and everything else?
It was they gave me 10 years of it too. So like if they tell you you gotta go take a drop or come in, it don't matter if you just not getting a job and it's your first couple of days there, you know, you got to go and report or you taking the chance of going back to prison. Any little thing that go outside of those guidelines that they read to you when you get out, if you break any one of those, you could go back to federal prison. And it's hard to work. It's hard. I missed a lot of speaking engagements because I didn't get the okay to go to be able to set the travel up and things like that. And it was hurting me financially, as well. I was just coming home. I did 16 and a half years.
So I mean, how did you turn your life around? Just tell us the story.
Oh, basically, I did that in the inside. I had to get a relationship with God. I knew who he was, but I got a relationship with him. I had a 2-year-old son when I went away, and they gave me a double life sentence. And another one of the things that hurted me, that bothered me. I lost both of my parents. Two of my brothers was on the case with me, and we all came home. And my brother probation officer denied us to release my parents' asses. Everything was set. All the family was there, and he said that even though I had been inside prisons, speaking to the people, neighborhoods, churches, all type of things, and they denied us to come together as a family, said that he need to do 30 more days out before they allowed us to come together.
So the Safe Supervision Act, which I'm a proponent of, and let me just explain it to people a little bit. It's being I've got some we've got some sponsors in the House and Senate, basically, but the purpose of the Safer Supervision Act is pretty straightforward. Okay,
Hmm.
you're let out of prison under supervision. So the Safe Supervision Act is not an act to put criminals on the streets. The probation process is played out. It's played out,
Hmm.
and you're let go on probation, and you're on federal or local supervision.
Yeah,
And
it's
how the
not probation. Yeah.
right and how safer supervision fixes America's supervision problem is the supervision is only for those who need it with conditions that actually make sense and work to increase safety and successful reentry. So we have all these people under supervision. Only some of them need it. Those are the people that really need the supervision,
Right.
and we don't have enough probation officers. So explain how this act would help people get jobs and help decline recidivism.
I'm not 100%, in the position to answer that. Maybe some of the people at Reform can really do that. But what I can say is you just really said a lot. A lot of those probation officers probably need to be watching over the more violent offenders of the offenders that has returned back to the crime or whatever. But like even me as of today, with all of the success I have done, if the president wouldn't have given me a presidential pardon, I would still be under supervision. I never had a dirty drop. I always reported a job. I always paid my taxes since I've been home. I was in my family's life. I just was there for my son to get his master's at 22. I got married. I'm the vice president of engineering tax services with Julio Gonzalez. But I would have to ask to go to have to travel still if I was on supervised release. When my son was up the road from me, maybe an hour and 40 minutes in his college, I couldn't just pop up and see him in practice because it was 40 miles over the radius in the same state with me. I mean, that's crazy. You know, I had been away from his life for almost 17 years, and I couldn't just go take a dinner and have dinner with him. You know, if he had a bad day, be his dad now, I'm here to just go and visit him. Some of the supervision is it tear families apart. And by the grace of God, I would say this though: my probation officer at the end, she just said, basically, I don't know why you're on here, but you know what? If it's dealing with work, Mr. Tanner, you tell me where you going and you send me where you staying and you go work because you're changing lives out here. But a lot of them don't do that. And by the grace of God, my life changed when I was allowed to go and travel and work and do those things. And I worked my way up in Julio Company behind it. And then the president gave me a pardon, and it's nice, just like my whole life back. You know, it's just amazing. But this bill is going to help shorten things and get people off that deserve to be off and have work to be off and have shown that they do not need to be supervised.
You know, there's a lot of things that affect our record recidivism rates, Duke, in this country. As you know, this school to prison pipeline, which I've been railing against since I've been on the air.
Mhm.
This Republican law and order thing, lock them up. I mean, it all sounds great in a campaign speech, but at the end of the day, these are real people we're talking about. And when you've paid your debt to society, and this is the most important thing for people to realize about the Safe Supervision Act. This isn't affecting or influencing when you get out on probation. It's got nothing to do with that. It's
Mhm.
after you get out. So those decisions are being made by the judge, by the parole board, etc. So this is not an act to let criminals go free. This is what our detractors describe this as. It's fake. Okay, you're already out on
Right.
probation. You're under supervision.
Yeah, we're under supervision.
Our goal here is that if you're in the federal or state supervision program, you're limited to what you can do. And if you show up when you need to, if you're drug free, if you're trying to get a job, the fact that you're under supervision is hurting all those things. And what we want people to do is get a job and then be normal contributors to society. And so if you're doing all the right things, which is what we want you to do, and you're going to church and all that stuff that people might decide to do, then we want to incentivize and reward hardworking Americans while encouraging them to get education, get training, and employment, all which are made more difficult if the supervision continues when you don't need it. Does that make sense?
100%. And another point is it makes it worse because now you have tasted freedom and you are outside and you're with your families, and any moment it could be taken back away for a minor. I chose to go to work and I couldn't get off work. I'm gonna lose my job, or I gotta go down here and report for 20 minutes, pee in the cup. I never had a dirty, but I could take a chance of losing my job. Or I could take a chance if I'm too late. If they feeling bad that day, all right, y'all lock them up. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean
it's a
that's
horrible feeling.
Yeah, I mean because you're and look, we want those. There's people that are being supervised that need the supervision because they're not clean, they're doing the wrong things, they're still not straightening themselves out. Those are the ones that need the supervision, and we have limited resources, so we're spread too thin, worrying about people that have no risk, that should be able to get off this, get a job, and then be productive members of society. Duke.
100%. And I believe what Jessica and Reform got going on with this bill is going to really be able to weed things out. And I believe that we're gonna have more successful people that's coming home because they're gonna have, they're gonna be able to get back on track and get on the workforce pipeline and get them jobs and be able to be a part of their family as well as a productive member in the community. I know that's what it did for me, and I'm never stopping, and I want to help those people as much as I can. So I support the bill 10,000%.
Well, look, Duke. The bottom line is, if you're doing the right thing, we want to encourage those that have done their time to straighten themselves out. That's the purpose of it, not to go back, not to be back in prison and be in that rat race again. And the key to this is getting a job, right? I mean, all the studies show that that former felons who come out and work and have a job, the chances of them going back in drop 80% if they have a job. Period.
100%.
80
Yes, sir.
percent if they have a job. And the supervision that goes on inhibits your ability to have a job. It also, like you said, you could be working overtime or something, and then you miss your cutoff, and now they just put you back in jail, and now you don't have a job again. This thing makes no sense.
None at all. But that's you just said it completely. And then even imagine you if you are owner of a company and you want to help me and give me a job, but if you know anything about supervision, you know maybe Duke might can't come to work today because they might call him, or maybe he might get locked up. So therefore, you say, well, you know what? I'd rather not even go through this because I really need you here. Or if you own, I had problems with driving. I was driving a truck but I was getting good lows, but I couldn't take them. I had to wait to get approved. I waited till they wanted to give me some type of special approval, you know. So when guys trying to get their CDLs and come home and do good, if they going out of the state, it could be a problem.
We're with Charles Duke Tanner. He's also vice president of Engineered Tax Services, Julio's company. Julio, a good friend of ours. I'm a
Yes.
big believer in that. Former pro boxer, co founder of Legacy Impact Group, and also a criminal justice reform advocate. You can follow him at Duke Got Life, on X, Instagram, and on Facebook at facebook.com Duke to go next. I'm sorry, Duke go to Duke got next. I'm sorry, I had a hard time reading it. Duke got next. You can follow him there. Duke, the from life sentence to pardon, one man's proof of the that the federal supervision system is broken. Also, Duke's got a book out that you want to read. You can get it on Amazon. It's called Duke
Yes.
Got Life. Duke Got Life. Tell us, Duke, about your book.
It was about my struggle. It was about the struggle to one last shot at redemption because at the end of the day, I never denied, you know, breaking the law and but a double life sentence for a nonviolent crime was crazy. But we went through it and then this book is gonna tell you how the things you need to be focused on in the inside to make yourself, a better man, a better father, a better brother, um, and that's what's in the book, and it shows the people that supported me. It shows what the president did, and I'm talking about President Trump for when he gave me my clemency to he gave me a chance on to come home. It even got a couple moments in there of the bad supervision things where I wasn't able to go to certain places, and like I said, when they denied us to release my parents' ashes. That's something we waited 20 years to do before we all came back together. And that was just so hurtful. But by the grace of God, I did get the pardon, and Julio knew what happened. So he actually flew all my siblings to his home, and we had a pardon party slash we let our parents ashes go, and I was so thankful for that because I didn't want to take a chance of messing things up and go anyway, and I'm just so thankful about that. But please go get the book. It's gonna give you everything that you need.
It's called Duke Got Life. Duke Got Life, former professional boxer, did time and now on our team at the Engineered Tax Services, which is a great organization. Julio's a good guy, man. He flew all you guys down there. Guy's a salt of the earth. Good friend of mine. Honored to be with him. Duke, I want to wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving, a happy holiday season. I know we'll have you back. Love having you on. I got a chance to meet Duke when he came up to DC, came to my studio a couple
Yes.
times with Julio. So fascinating guy, and he's been through a lot, no doubt about it. And this segment has been uh, paid for by partly by the Reform Action Fund, partly I should say by the
Mhm.
Reform Action Fund, one of our sponsors, and because I believe in the bill and I believe in what they're doing. And Duke, you and I become good friends over it. You're a great guy with a lot, with so much to offer the world, and best to you and your family, Duke.
Thank you, man. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and please go check out the Safer Supervision bill. And they need to go read it. People need to read it and get behind this bill, support it.
Go to safersupervision.com to learn more. Safersupervision.com. This is a bill that has bipartisan backing. We need to get this thing through ASAP. And I'm a big supporter of it. It's going to also help those in Washington, D.C. These are
Yeah.
the kind of things we need to keep people out of recidivism. I mean, we've got to keep people, when they get out, to be productive citizens. And the Safe Supervision Act is one big way to do that. Thank you, Duke, for
Uh,
being with us today.
yes, sir. God bless you all.
All right. Word from our sponsors. We're going to be right back with your calls, 888 480 John.